Hello and welcome everybody to another Binary Ninja live stream. I've got a special guest. Let's bring him out right away. Let's see if we can. There we go. Tim, welcome.
Hi guys, nice to meet you.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. We got a really busy stream today, so we got a lot of stuff. I want to get right to you and your background and kind of what's got here. Peter's already in chat saying hi. He was actually, I think, the only person you knew. Peter and Rusty, you met them a while back, right? From Vector 35. We've never actually met before.
Hi, Peter.
So tell me where you met Peter, kind of your background in like the reverse engineering community, like what kind of got you started.
Yeah, sure. So I'm located in Bochum, Germany, and I'm doing reverse engineering since 10 years, more or less. I started in school and focused then in my bachelor master studies on there, and also did my PhD there about automated program analysis, mostly working on everything related to binary, so be it binary fuzzing, be it binary code deobfuscation, be it bug triaging. And besides, I started doing reverse engineering, malware reverse engineering for some customers a few years ago. And after my PhD, I started working in a company and also now co-founding a company where we build obfuscation schemes for embedded devices. So basically, we do IP protection there for everything that is smaller than a smartphone.
That's cool. I've actually told several people in like this field like that. I was like, if you want to actually start a company, don't like just sell reverse engineering tools, like, and not just because I'm selfish and I don't want competition, but because there's just not as much, of a market for just pure reverse engineering tooling. You're better off finding some application, IP protection or something else. I think that's a good choice for a business. So I hope
yes, exactly. So we know it with Halber Flake and Dynamics, they basically there's a market, but it's not large enough. And
that's right. Yeah, so it's X-rays, it's Dynamics, and I don't know if anybody else.
It was Dynamics. So yes,
pure RE. Dynamics is the only one that kind of like had an exit, I guess, out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. And what was your PhD on?
My PhD was on binary analysis in all different forms. So mostly on combining binary analysis with some kind of statistical analysis to infer programs related to bug triaging, fuzzing, and code deobfuscation.
So we've got a actually question in chat. Is the systems you're developing like VM Protect or Denuvo, like anti-tamper for embedded firmwares, that kind of thing?
Yes, kind of. So what we do is we do binary to binary translations, where we basically take the firmware of some embedded device and harden it such that it cannot be analyzed that easily anymore. And we also do some anti-tamper stuff and some other code hardening techniques. But we mainly focus on very, very small devices. So we focus on all ARM devices, also on PowerPC and others. So basically, everything there where others don't work, because embedded Linux or something like that, we don't need any operating system at all. We work on the very, very low, small devices.
That makes sense. And a lot of the research in anti-tamper is at x86,
yes.
game anti-cheat, all that kind of stuff, where it's gotten really advanced, and you don't have as much CPU overhead, right? So a VM Protect style system incurs a lot of cost, yes, execution wise. So you've got to be more clever. So
that's cool. And the challenge for us is to basically build similar techniques on a very, very small scale with small overhead in size and performance.
And what's the company name?
It's Improve.
Okay. And here, let me pull this up. What's the website? Let's see.
It's Improve GmbH.
Improve GmbH.
With an M. Oh, no, it's M. Let me just paste it into the chat, I guess.
That'll work. See if I can pull it out there.
When I do find the chat.
It's hiding. Well, you gotta click in the upper right.
Yeah, I just had it, and this Tor chat, there it is. No, there isn't.
That might have been something I could have prepared beforehand. That's my fault for not asking.
AM.
Yep.
Sorry, EM. Sorry, EM.
Yep.
PR.
Mm-hmm.
O.
Yep.
F.de.
There we go. Embedded proof, I guess is the
yes, exactly.
There we go. Perfect. Good. So we'll point everybody to that. And actually, while I got the browser up, I had your blog here too. So this is the kind of what I specifically, like I said, Peter has met you before. You guys were at an event together talking about some reverse engineering stuff. But then I saw the blog post and the Binary Ninja plugin that you published. What's like the 20-second kind of summary of this research?
Of this research, yeah. Well, basically, I started giving trainings on code deobfuscation a few years ago, and I started with doing research about how to find obfuscated code in real-world samples, especially in malware, but also in commercial DRM systems, and basically how can we fingerprint code there. And I started developing a few techniques that basically exploit certain characteristics of typical obfuscation schemes that you found in the wild. And I just thought I will write a blog post about one of them. And yeah, this is basically what happened to be the first blog post, where we take one of the most common obfuscation schemes, control flow flattening, and develop a very stupid heuristic that works quite well to basically fingerprint characteristics.
And so, what I thought was interesting too was that you sort of had like a false positive that turned out to be kind of okay, I think too, right? Like, so you found that like not only did it detect cases of control flow flattening, but also just really like large state machines parsers, you were picking up on as well, which it's something else you might actually care about.
So basically, basically, if you are analyzing a complex code base, you're mostly interested in the very complex stuff. So big parsing protocols or something like that. And so you want to fingerprint basically semantic or syntactically complex code.
Right.
And semantically complex code is typically each state machine. And syntactically complex code is mostly real semantic complex code or obfuscated code. And so therefore, if you try to find complex code, you can basically use the same heuristics that work quite well.
That's actually interesting, because just last week, actually, I was taking a Binary Ninja plugin that I'd written, or a snippet that I had kind of written a while ago. I have a bunch of like just little code snippets that they're not big enough to be a full plugin. And I was turning it into a plugin, and I added, so it actually has measures of the size of the function, the cyclomatic complexity of the function, the number of basic blocks, and it's really, really, really basic, right? But it just kind of flags functions that have these certain properties, adds a tag, can rename it or put a little emoji icon next to it. So you just can scroll through the list and see what's there. I think it's actually very, very similar to kind of this concept. You're just a little bit more of an advanced analysis technique that you're applying, right?
Yes. So basically, if you are starting on a very large code base, you want something that has to be, you just want to get a first glimpse. So, and there you need something that is very easy to implement and doesn't take any time overhead. So if you throw it on Chromium, well, you have 120 MB or something like that, you don't want to have very, very complex measurements. You just want something very stupid but simple that filters out a lot of uninteresting stuff for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, your goal is not like a perfect program analysis, quantifiable thing that exactly is accurate in all situations. It's just like a triage. It's just to help you get like, show me where I probably need to look, or show me where things may have been obfuscated, or show me where things are complicated.
Exactly. It just is a stupid heuristic that basically guides you in your reverse engineering.
Excellent. So, and of course, part of the reason I was happy is because I saw you release this as a Binary Ninja plugin. So your plugin, it's in the plugin manager. It's just called obfuscation detection, and we'll kind of generate you these scores and give you functions of interest that might be obfuscated or might be large or complex, rather, right?
Yes, exactly.
And so I already warned you I was going to give you like this at least one leading question, but like, what about Binary Ninja made it nice to implement your plugin? So you're not allowed to say it wasn't, but if you have complaints too, we'll get to those as well.
Well, yeah, so basically the cool thing about there is what you need is a disassembler that is very, very fast in analyzing large code bases, and has some built-in opportunities to do some very basic analysis, but on a complex manner. And for instance, the nice thing in the Binary Ninja API is that in this case, it has a very good graph API, especially the dominance relationships.
Yep.
And I tried to build something on top of Ghidra, but then it just exploded because of I met some recursion limits on the JVM, and it was totally out of bound for large binaries. And here it works very well, especially in combination with the multi-threaded disassembly.
And I will say too that you actually also tweeted, I saw, was that Miasm has you implemented a Miasm version as well, just because they've got some of those similar characteristics. They're very fast disassembly.
Yes, exactly.
They've got some of the kind of graph APIs. So even though this is the Binary Ninja live stream, we definitely here's the guest where you posted it, right?
Yes.
They've also got some similar, and you can see they've got similar properties, predecessors, and they give you a graph API that's, but it's Python, so it's easy to write, but it's also kind of a fast analysis too, so you can actually do.
So basically, I would like to just distinguish there. So I mostly use Miasm if I want to have a closer look at some certain functions, if I already know which functions I tackle, and so because I use a lot of techniques then, like symbolic execution or solving and other stuff that is built on top of Miasm that is used for code deobfuscation then. That's also what I use in my trainings. But to give a first glimpse, I use something that is very fast, that can perform a very, very fast analysis on the whole binary.
I got you.
That sorts out interesting functions that I can throw into a different tool.
And you might even put like anger in the same bucket as Miasm, then, right? It's got the symbolic execution. It's got some of those things that you might want, but you wouldn't necessarily feed a whole binary into it. It's gonna be a little bit slower.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But Anger here is different because Anger doesn't, in terms of intermediate language, doesn't give you the details that you need for some kind of analysis, where you have to define your own intermediate language statements and other things. You need a lot of flexibility there that you don't have in Anger.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good to know. So I've only played with it a little bit. But yeah, and of course, intermediate language is, like, I would say Binary Ninja's biggest strength, right? We have lots of intermediate languages. You get sort of like pick which one you want to use, which can be confusing, I think, to some people. But that has advantages when you want to get out different properties. You can choose the right one. That makes sense. So what would you, if you're going to change, like, what would be a new feature you would add this plugin, or I mean, you may just be kind of done with it, but do you have other ideas that you would look to build on top of this, or if somebody else was going to take this and build a next version of it, what would you recommend?
Well, that's basically one of the features that I regularly use. I also have lots of other heuristics that I have lying around that I use that are basically tackle similar approaches, but for different scenarios. Like, for instance, you mentioned cyclomatic complexity. This is also one thing that, because not, for instance, the plugin that I mentioned there basically detects loops on a large scale, but there might be large dispatch functions that don't have any loops or something like that. And for that, you can use easily cyclomatic complexity, which is just a one-liner, and then you get also the interesting functions.
Yeah, that's actually funny. I actually have my little snippet script that I built. I should probably bring it up and show it, but I do the same thing. So I not only have cyclomatic complexity, but also have like just a little loop detector, right? That just goes and looks and sees if something dominates itself, which indicates that there's a loop somewhere in that function.
Yes.
And it just tags it with like, there's a loop here. It could be a big, small, nothing else. But then when you combine that with the other kind of features that it extracts, oops, wrong one. Actually, this will work. I think there's a screenshot. Yeah, so there's, not that one. I've got a list of specific characteristics, but where'd it go? Oh, this is the wrong one. It helps if I open the right file. I was messing around with my repository and I moved it to a subfolder. Right, so it'll if something is a stub function, calls no other functions, large versus over some size if it's complex. So you've essentially got a similar kind of tool bag, but I assume much, more options and targeted specifically at obfuscation, whereas I'm just kind of come up with a couple of basic generic ideas.
Exactly.
All right, so let's talk about your training then next, right? Because that's where people can find all your tricks out, or maybe more of your tricks than just the blog post, right? So I think Hack in the Box is your next time you're doing it.
The next training is mid of April this year.
All right, actually, let's see. So on your Twitter, what's the best way if people are interested in that training to find you?
Yes.
There we go. Right there. So it's right up top, pin tweet. Good social media usage there. All right, so people can catch the training there.
Yeah, so basically this is a 3-day training of mine where I teach software deobfuscation techniques, mainly topics like what is the state of the art in code obfuscation. This is the first part where we have a look what is the state of art or different techniques there, and then we analyze different techniques and then automate tooling and build tooling that is used or that uses SMT solving, symbolic execution, compiler optimizations, program synthesis, and other stuff, such that we can then automatically build tools that remove certain kind of protections.
We've actually got a former student of yours in chat who actually says, I can attest to it being a great training. Giancarlo Alvarado just said
Thank you.
They took it and it's really good. That makes so. I guess who's winning? Because I've been to a couple of conferences on code obfuscation, and there's like it is this arms race, this back and forth. So like right now, who would you say is winning, or is it just depends on?
Well, it mainly depends on the skill the reverse engineer has, and especially the effort that he wants to put into that. On the other hand, it depends on the knowledge and the time of the company that produces the obfuscation. So it's the one thing if you are just a basic malware author that just implements something or reuses some technology, or you have a whole research team that does not that produces different kind of obfuscations for years.
Well, and malware though, like in some ways, I think it's been a while since I was doing full-time malware analysis, but they almost want to avoid obfuscation in a lot of ways because just the fact that something is obfuscated tends to be easier to detect than detecting what it does behind the obfuscation. And so like just knowing something is obfuscated is often enough to flag it for malware for more of a look or suspicious. So I've seen a lot of malware that specifically avoided. In fact, actually, my favorite trick is way back in the day when I wanted to look for like a virus in somebody's system, I would literally just zip every file in their like Windows System 32 folder, and anything that didn't compress was already compressed. Right? It was a really, really simple heuristic of like, is this already encrypted or compressed? And it would find, other than small files that were kind of outliers, it would find files that pretty effectively until I think I saw a lot of malware sort of like move away from that, probably for that reason.
Yes, that's true. So basically, most of the malware only includes very basic or no obfuscation. So basically, you will find all the cool obfuscation in commercial systems.
Yeah, that makes sense. Video games or other sensitive IP things. Yeah.
Exactly. But in my training, I try to cover the state of the art in commercial systems in my training with choosing representative malware samples that build something similar.
That makes sense. It's easier. Yeah, you have to be a little careful with like IP rights and
Yes,
reversing somebody's
exactly.
public sample. But in many cases, like a lot of these the commercial protection systems publish samples to show off how effective their tool is. I've noticed. So like every now and then you might have something like that you have to do.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, somebody OA Lab says VMP Soft was winning for a while, but now Can is winning. Yeah, if you saw Can's marathon Twitch streams where he was building his anti was it VM Protect, right? That he was kind of trying to generically go after.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I haven't seen the specific details of that. I think it's a fun world. I think it's too hard too. Like I feel like I feel like no, I think you're fine like that. I think that was I actually thought about bringing that up earlier myself. The OA Labs in chat. Um, it is interesting and it's very much a cat and mouse. Like you said, it depends on the skill of both sides. And I think when you have very highly skilled people, it gets really interesting really quick.
Exactly. It also depends. So basically, what's your goal? So how much do you want to spend time and human effort in it to get something pirated, for
Yeah,
instance?
well, and on both sides, right? Too, right? As a defender, how much work is it for you to protect your assets? And as
Yes,
an
exactly.
attacker, like for example, even in Binary Ninja, from the very beginning, we sort of looked at like our options, and we just decided, look, we're selling to reverse engineers. We're not going to put a lot of time and effort into like anti-reverse engineering techniques because it's just they're going to break it. Like we're selling to the most skilled people in the world, so like
Yes.
we're just going to like try to update a lot, right? Our best copyright protection is that we have lots of updates. So yeah, there's an outdated pirated version you can get, but like if you want updates and support, like that's we'd sort of just try to solve it like with a business case, as opposed to like putting a lot of effort into a technical case that how effective
Yes.
is it gonna be in the end?
It's also the same if you look at commercial software. You see by analyzing it which companies did their homework and have good teams that do the things for years and which don't.
What's your favorite Easter egg? I've seen several companies actually put Easter eggs in some of their protections, and they'll actually advertise for their anti-tamper team, or they'll advertise. Do you have a particular favorite that you've seen on that, or is it maybe not super common?
The one that I like most. I don't know the company. It was a few years ago where they put something when you opened it in IDA, then they basically printed a picture of the developer team.
Yep.
Inside it, and that was quite awesome.
Yeah, I that was actually Domas I think did a talk on RE Psych Warfare where the control flow graph was an image too. I don't know if they used a similar technique or you zoomed out enough and the CFG itself actually was like a little bitmap for a particularly complicated function.
And I also found something interesting. I don't name any company here,
yeah.
but where I reverse engineered the protection, and at some point there was a statement like, "Hey, you've done it so far. Congratulations! Now it's time to send us an email and get in touch with us."
Nice. See, I like it when a company sort of like has a sense of humor and realizes that it's just gonna happen anyways. You might as well see if you can recruit people because like they're already kind of skilled. Yeah, Riot was one that I think I've seen. Their team has done that several times. I haven't seen the Pac-Man job offer. Uh, there's a comment in chat about how they had like something that was a Pac-Man. I'm curious about that one, or Pac-Men. I'll look that one up afterwards. I'm curious about that. So what's do you so you published this one, you've got several other ones, people can go to the training. Do you think you're going to do kind of more posts or more techniques like this, or space them out, or what's your kind of future plans?
Yeah, there will be for sure coming more in the next, I don't say in days, I don't say weeks, but in next time. So I just started the blog. The blog will be more or less active.
Good.
So I guess in a few months, 1 or 2 posts. And there will definitely come another blog post about obfuscation detection. But I think it will be not the next post.
Excellent. Yeah, it's I've actually got like 3 blog posts I think other team members have written that I have to finish proofreading and post on our blog. So it's always a challenge to keep like a consistent schedule, but it helps a lot. Was there like an API like when you were building this one, or even as you're these other techniques you've been building? Are there Binary Ninja APIs that you wish we had? Or you're like, oh, I wish you had this kind of built-in APIs or something else that you've thought about that you would like us to work on?
What I don't like that much in the Binary Ninja API is that there's no real instruction API. So basically, if you have an instruction, basically you don't have really access to everything that is related to an instruction. So you want to get its bytes, you want to get perhaps its length, its disassembly, its if it has any successors, and what kind of instruction is it? Is this a call? Is it a flow type or something like that? So there's everything inside the API, but you have no single place like instruction dot give me anything. And
yeah, and some of that I think is because we have like our IL split. So like what you would in a lot of other tools where you would get out properties of like registers read or written or memory read or written. You get that instead from the IL level is kind of our expectation. But yeah, you'd have to go like instruction dot LIL dot, and you would kind of get to it that way.
And sometimes different ILs give you different kind of information, and basically nothing of that is very well documented. So you have to reverse engineer your way around there, how you use the API to get the information you're looking for.
Yeah, I use tab complete a lot myself because I forget what the property name is or what the and I'm like, wait, which is this off of the? After I was doing it earlier today, I was like, is this parameters .vars or a function .event type or what was the I'm just kind of looking through all the properties. So even as a developer, I do have to poke through the list of properties to find things.
Yes,
that's okay. So that's good. Yeah, I think, and I have seen. I think we could do a better job because, like I said, the data is all there. And one of the sort of things that we always debate is we don't want to add infinite numbers of helper functions to make everything accessible from everywhere, because then it just clutters the API and actually becomes harder to find the things that you care about. But there is definitely this sweet spot, I think, where it's like you've got everything kind of that you expect to be where you expect to be, and you don't have to call some function off another thing that you didn't expect to get the attribute that you expected off of the object that you've got. So that's definitely something that we've thought about, and yeah, that's good feedback. Thanks for that. I'm gonna catch up on chat a little bit. Gaselden mentions that he saw somebody who was reversing something where the AES key actually said, "Well, if you got this far, we're screwed anyways." It's nice to know you're winning. Yeah. And then Brindley, mentions the game dev. Yeah, there was that was a game dev studio. I think it was like a game about running a game studio, and if you pirated their software, I think even they either released or somebody released a cracked copy of it, and if you were playing the pirated version of the game, inevitably pirates would take over and you would lose. You could never win the game. Pirates would always put your game development studio out of business, which was, I mean, it's hard to argue. That's a pretty funny funny answer. Yeah, game dev tycoon. So yeah, exactly. I've heard that one as well, Brindley. That's a good one. So one of the things that we're working on with Binary Ninja that hopefully is going to be coming out soon is an analysis pass API. So the idea is that we can rewrite intermediate languages, and in between one stage of analysis to another, we can actually change how the IL looks. And I'm curious, in the work that you're doing, is that something that you would find useful, or are you more just concerned with, because I mean, one of our goals was that it might be useful for obfuscation mechanisms, right? Where there's some of these, as a simple example, opaque predicates where they're adding in, lots of extra stuff that you could just remove, and not just knock out, but actually remove them from the IL so that when the higher levels of analysis happen, it's just gone entirely. So I'm curious if that's something you think would be useful, that you would kind of use to produce a cleaner kind of output, and if so, are there specific features you might want or things that come to mind that you would use it for?
So I think giving something that is flexible in terms of EL development is always better. Especially if you, it happens for me quite often that I have to craft completely new or rewrite new intermediate language expressions to get it more complex, or to simplify it, or to replace variable names with better variables, and having a good API there would be quite helpful. Yes.
Good. Okay. All right. So that's what we're working on and planning. And Brian, one of our developers who's often on the stream, is actively working that. But I always like to ask people what are use cases, so then that we can make sure that when we're building the APIs that we had those specific kind of goals in mind. So I think replacing expressions is exactly one of the goals. Like one of the first examples he was doing is like an Objective-C where they have a message send API. It's, essentially a dispatcher that actually calls to the real function, and it's like just pull that call out, put back in the call to the thing that's actually being called, and then let analysis go, and you'll get much cleaner kind of analysis. So I think, yeah, any examples you've got of things that you think are useful, feel free to let us know, because we want to make sure we're building kind of useful APIs.
One thing more, it's often so if you do the instruction lifting into the IL, and if you work on the lowest level, Binary Ninja, I guess, optimizes flags away, so you don't get complete formulas for zero flag and something like that.
Yep.
And it works if you assume that the binary ninja function context analysis is correct there. But if you just want to feed into a symbolic execution engine or something like that, you have loss of information that might be critical for other things, and so it would be quite nice to access this information.
That's a great bit of feedback. Yeah, we made like a conscious choice really early on to make our lives easier, or anybody who's building new architecture support, to have what we call a semantic flags and deferred flags calculation, where we essentially don't analyze flags at all until we need them, which is both faster, it helps with performance, and it helps with the lifting. The semantic flags let us just say, like, this is an add flag no matter what the architecture is, and then it knows when I do an add instruction that it sets the flag accordingly. And so you don't have to explicitly list the flag. But the downside is exactly what you just said. Like, if you want to actually have something that does symbolic execution, you don't have that explicit data there. So that's something that we've talked about. I think we'll probably make a pass where we'll go back and actually do explicit flags. I mean, we can. Our API does support the ability to make explicit flags. It just is more work to lift all the instructions that way. So that's something we've thought about. Or yeah, Peter even mentioned making an IL that has explicit flags. So actually just having a different IL level that might have the flags.
So for readability, it makes totally sense to just keep everything out. And also for decompilation, you don't need it really. So if you know that's dead code, then it's dead code. So
yeah, I mean, if you've ever looked at like BAP or Vex IL and look at the output, like, it's just full of flags calculations.
Yes,
like 80-90% of all code in their IL is just flags calculations. So yeah, that's kind of why we did that. But yeah, that's another good bit of feedback. It is definitely something we're thinking about and want to get to at some point. Anything else that you kind of wanted to chat about while we're hanging out and talking about this? Or if the audience has any other questions for Tim, feel free to chime in.
I think one interesting metric that isn't about code complexity is that's also very great to build on top of Binary Ninja, is to find overlapping instructions. So while many other architectures many other disassemblers just stop disassembling the function there, Binary Ninja just tries its best to go on there. And this is really a nice feature to detect, for instance, opaque predicates. You have it often that opaque predicates jump into one direction, but then in the other direction that cannot be taken, just jump anywhere. And this is often just dead code then, or nonsense code. And in Binary Ninja, by just trying to do the best with disassembling that, you basically can write about 10 to 15 lines of code where you basically walk over the whole binary, find each instruction that has two different starting points, and then you can highlight everything, and then you can immediately see if it's just some rubbish disassembly, or if you just have an opaque predicate at some point that jumps into bad code.
That's a great idea. And yeah, I mean, that was done very intentionally because we had seen some of the limitations with our tooling where byte could only exist in one instruction. Instruction can only exist in one function. And there was sort of like architectural limitations. And so we did design it from the beginning so that x86, mid-instruction jumps where you create a different opcode out of misaligning instructions, that kind of was just naturally solvable. But I hadn't actually thought about using that as a sort of detection feature. That's a really cool idea. Maybe I'll add that to like the little tag plugin I've got as another example of, tag all the locations in this file where it appears that the instructions are bytes are in 2 different instructions. Because yeah, that's a clever idea. I had not thought about using that for that purpose.
Yeah, it works very, very well.
That's cool. Brinley mentioned the stream. He said the stream was freezing. My confidence kept going on my iPad where I'm watching it. But if anybody else is seeing the stream freeze, definitely let us know. All right, yeah. Somebody, at least one of the person saying it's still kind of good for them. So I don't see a lot of other questions in chat. Okay, it's working now. There's a question from Game Mind. It says, "Hey Tim, saw your talk on Cynthia a while back at CCC. Have you done any other work on program synthesis?"
Yes, I did a lot of work on program synthesis during my PhD, but not in terms of obfuscation or deobfuscation, but in terms of doing statistical analysis and synthesizing some analysis passes and some intermediate results that help us in pinpointing bugs, for instance, or in synthesizing grammars that help us for our grammar-guided fuzzing. So this is something. So if you go on my homepage, it's synthesis.to.
All right.
Exactly.
Pull that one up. Oh no, it's potentially harmful. Oh, what did they detect? I accept the risk.
So if you scroll a little down, you see all of my papers and talks with the recordings, with the code samples, the publications, also my PhD thesis. So you can everything look up there and go into details, and also every time just drop me a mail or something if you would like to discuss something. Further, in terms of code deobfuscation, there was a very, very nice paper last year by some Quarkslab guys who improved synthesis-based deobfuscation. I don't think they wrote a blog post about that. It was on the.
Oh, bummer. It's an academic paper.
Yes, but it was at the binary analysis.
BAR.
Yes. It's the binary and the bar conference. It was a very, very small paper, and
is that Usenix, I think? Yeah.
I think it's called Xusheng. Xusheng it is called.
Let's see. Here's 2021, 2020. Oh, archive.bar. Oh, that's cool. Good on the bar team. I haven't noticed this before.
There's a Xusheng paper. It's the lowest paper.
Perfect. Right there.
Yeah, this is a really, really nice paper where they basically improved my synthesis-based deobfuscation approach, where they started with just walking about a large tree and simplifying parts of that. And so they were able to often simplify the whole expression, but in most cases, at least some very good intermediate results.
Very nice. Yeah, Quarkslab does some fantastic research. They've got a lot of great work. Yes. Actually, is Miasm one of their projects or one they contribute to?
No. I think the guys are close, but it's not the same project. Okay. Or it's not the same. Yeah.
They do just use a fair amount. Like I think I've seen them.
Exactly. Yeah. It's just everybody knows everybody, especially in Paris.
That makes sense. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks for putting that there. So it's a fantastic question. Anybody else? Yeah. Is this warning because of the dub? I wonder if that's why. I think that's what it was. I think the SSL cert, the SSL cert on the dub version, which is that what this is linked to, or did I just type it wrong? Yeah, I think it's your Twitter bio. For whatever reason, the links are redirects to the www version, which resulted in that.
See if I can fix it later.
It's fine. It's fine. Just be nice to my VM box. The shellcode. As long as the shellcode keeps the machine up, I'm okay. Right? That's fine. I just need it up while I'm streaming. All right. Well, excellent. Tim, thanks very much for joining me. And before you leave, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's Blazytko.
Blazytko. All right.
Yes.
Blazytko. See if I can get the syllables right. Excellent. And mproof is where you're doing your work on embedded IP protection and synthesis.2 as where all the rest of your research is. So awesome. Well, thanks again for joining me. Maybe some other time we'll have you back and we'll chat some more. It'd be good to catch up and see what
thank you very much. It was quite a pleasure.
Excellent. All right. Well, take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. And let's see if I can turn off the right one. I think I did. All right. So let's go ahead and get to the rest of the stream. We have actually, I think we might have a record. We might be having 3 different guests on stream this week if everything goes to plan. In fact, it looks like Josh is around. Let's see, is he ready? And we'll see if Josh wants to join. I'll turn him on. We're doing like I want to say it's the celebrity week, but it's all sorts of visitors are hopping out in the stream. So we'll see if we get him in. Yes, excellent. He's here. All right, so go ahead and join the link in the chat. And let me see. Actually, you know what? We're gonna. Oh, there we go. Josh is on. But I think Josh, we're gonna let me. Oh no, that'll work. Yeah, that's good. And Tim's. I think we've got Tim. Tim might still be in if he wants to actually unmute and chime in and talk whatever he can. If the video comes up, it'll throw things off. But I think we can have Josh. Maybe I did it right. Yeah, we got you on stream. Welcome, Josh.
Oh, cool. Hi.
Have you been on the stream before?
I need to turn the stream off.
Oh yeah, hearing yourself talk is
no,
worst.
That was super
that is the worst.
disorienting. I don't think I
think Kyle's been on, Peter's been on. I don't think you've been on. So you should introduce yourself and tell people who you are.
Hi, I'm Josh. I work here.
Yes. Josh.
No, I did Binary Ninja Cloud. Mm-hmm. Now I'm working on collaboration, which is what we're going to show off, hopefully.
Cross your fingers. Yeah.
Yeah, really. I'm REing a binary to push stuff as we speak. So
yeah, I'm gonna pick it up here. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Oh, good, connection failed. That's what you want to see. Let me kick on the VPN. Fox says hi, and let's try again.
Hi.
Connect to main. Oh no, my credentials. Okay, hold please. That I'm
gonna. Want me to paste your credentials?
No, I have them. I just would like to rather not do them on. Let's go back here. I mean, whatever. Y'all are gonna get it off of the audio of my keyboard, right? And the timing on it. I think that's how you're gonna do it anyway. So it's not like it's gonna do any good. And also, if anybody is already, I didn't check Remember Me before actually. So yeah, let's switch back and I'll show that part. So if this works, it did. And I've got a stream project.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is the new one. Hi
stream. Oh, you left the stream a little message. See, Fox was just calling it in advance. They knew you were going to be saying hi. So tell me. So I did like the connection thing, but tell me kind of what we're looking at.
Yeah. So this is kind of the hub of collaboration. We call it the remote browser, where a remote is, a server running an instance of the collaboration server. So with it, you'll be able to create and organize projects. You'll be able to have multiple binaries and multiple folders and organize binaries inside a project. So when down the line we get, the ability to do multi-binary analysis in the same session, which now I'm kind of putting that on someone, so have fun.
It was on our to-do list. It
was on the roadmap. I think it was marked future, but now.
Well, yeah, it's something we've wanted. I have a suspicion it was going to land soon. Not too many releases after 3.0. Anyways, it's on our list, but.
Yeah. So go ahead and open the binary. I already started REing it a fair amount. You'll see some structures and stuff. So what it's doing now is it's pulling, it's not just the base binary, it's the binary and then analysis I've done on top of it.
And so this definitely didn't. But this is primarily just, other than like this bar down here, which by the way, the colors we know are not theme aware. That's on our to-do list. Make sure I don't think our video is including anything. So yeah, this is, it's just, Binary Ninja, right? Like it's nothing too crazy, which is kind of the point. I think the team has been testing it out this week internally, and consensus so far is like it gets out of the way, right? Like that was the point. We didn't want it to be like this heavy, complicated process.
No, the plan is like similar to if anyone's used like VS Code's Git integration, kind of just the, click a button and everything just kind of works.
And I will say, because it's through the Binary Ninja command palette, like there's a sync thing there, so you can not only click it, but you can also bound it to a hotkey. You can, in fact, actually, I think outside my VM, I have this. I actually went and did or maybe Option S. I forget what I did. So I think I saved a hotkey to it, so I can quickly sync, because we were kind of iterating a lot, like in our test run. I want to get the bad news out of the way first for the stream. The only bit of minor bad news is that the very first version of this is probably going to be an enterprise only feature, but the caveat is that we're already trying to plan how we can release collaboration as a like public service. So like it'll be a part of the paid enterprise server, which will be designed really for teams for offline access and syncing collaboration, floating licenses. We'll have a couple other features, and that'll hopefully, that's the Q2 thing. We'll see. I guess we're already beginning a Q2, but end of Q2 is the goal.
The idea is that hosts like a public server for everyone.
But then a public server would be for everybody. So the idea is, there is like CTF teams and hobbyists can still get collaboration features, but they have to also give us their binaries, or they don't have to use collaboration. That's fine too. They can continue to use the product the way it is, kind of offline. But I think that's going to be really nice for a lot of like CTF teams and hobbyists and people reversing to be able to like do collaborative reverse engineering.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, there have been so many tools like BNIDA is the first one that comes to mind, but like Solidarity with IDA would have been so huge, and it was such a big effort. And
I at one point I actually had a list of, I think it was 12 or 14 projects, Collaborate, Solidarities.
There's so many tries at getting a solid collaborative reverse engineering experience
and
working.
Ghidra does have theirs, but I think with Ghidra's, I think they took down the one public one when somebody pointed out that it was essentially code execution as a service.
Ghidra server. I don't know what happened to that one.
I think it was like the Ghidra developers were like, by the way, that is like impossible to secure. It is basically RPC for Java. You are letting people run code on your server. And I think it went away after that. I have to double check, but
okay.
That was but there is a a Ghidra collaboration server as well. But
so basically we tried to take some of the lessons from poking at Ghidra collaboration server and our personal experiences with other like collaborative workflows, whether it be like Google Docs or Git. A lot of it came from Git, where we have this kind of snapshot and commit model that we based everything off of. So
this was my favorite. We were looking at this one earlier, and this I'm not gonna do. Well, maybe I will just to annoy Peter. But one of the things that I did when we were reversing this binary was this is a color, a foreground color kind of setting. It's ANSI escape codes, and I just popped this into a shell, and then tested it.
And it looks really nice
when you actually run the binary. Oops.
Well,
that was my password. Good. People can connect to my account now.
What?
People can connect to my. Hey, clip that, guys. That's my password to the server. Yeah, it went by really
if
fast.
You can connect to the server, let me know.
We have bigger problems if they connect to the server, because
you're not supposed to be able to.
They're already in our VPN, so you won't change my creds after there it is again. Good. It's because the copy and paste buffer is pasting the wrong thing.
Well, you have 3 of them. What is that, 4 tries max?
That's the joys of Linux, right? There we go. -E. There we go. So that's a gray foreground color. So kind of just going through and like actually identifying all the colors, and then I just made an enum for each of them, and pasted it. But the thing that was obnoxious about it was I actually made the enum like an emoji color icon. So let me see. I might be able to copy my emoji. Actually, it's let's even better. Let's see if you can. Do you want to copy in that emoji? You can do like the not evil enum There's that one. It's the wrong window. Let's pull this one up. There we go. And one thing that I will point out is that you will see when I open up like a new tab here, because this build has the new the new changes. This is the one with the collaboration server. You actually see that this is just showing like a server connection information. So the recent file list has that. When I switch back to the other test build, which is going to show some other features off that we've been working on, it doesn't have any of the collaboration code in it, and so we're going to get this massive long hash, which is going to throw everything off. That's just because I'm running two separate kind of dev builds essentially.
Yeah, so you don't have to go through the remote browser to open collaborative binaries. Yeah. You open it from the recent tab list, or you open it on disk, and it'll kind of detect, connect you to the server if need be.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to show that really quick because I really like that, right? So that was the thing. And apparently it didn't remember. Oh, well, it's a good thing that my creds are saved. Look at that.
Yeah, on this box, because on Linux, it saves creds using, I think, libsecret, and you need to have like a keyring daemon, which I don't know if you have GNOME keyring on there or anything.
Not now, not in the stream box.
Yeah, so there is still some UI things to show that it didn't cleanly save.
And in case, if and when we have some horrible bug, this is, again, very, very early alpha testing, right? So we're very early in doing this.
No, internal alpha was yesterday.
And there were there's things to work, but it works. It works, and it's a really nice workflow.
It does. If you go to main, I already have some stuff marked up with a struct.
Okay. Unresolved stack usage, unfortunately, but it looks like right?
I tried patching it. There's obfuscation in this binary. I have had this open for like 5 minutes.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not resolving stack usage there.
We'll see all of your uses then. So we've got a nuke structure, and thanks to some of the work that Xusheng's been doing, we've actually got cross references to the structure.
Which so we've got
our variable cross references and all the different functions. And you've got a couple of so this has got the hotkey. We can see was actually and this look at this, how nice it's right, initialize keys, and it's used in main. So that's probably where you got these names from, right? So I can go real quick to this and see, sure enough, we had one of these nuke structures, and we've got our 3 keys, which I think I recognize some of these names. Is Doom just the game, or is there actually someone named Doom that I'm missing?
Doom is Marcus.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Nice. So all the generals. George never went to our PI, did he? Okay, all right. Just honorary.
Don't ask.
That's all right.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
So actually, if you want to stay on that type view, or go to the can launch function.
Okay.
So if you want to
nuke, right? This instruction.
Yeah, it takes a nuke, and you see a bunch of undefined offsets in the struct, which are fields that haven't yet been defined. So if you want to go ahead and pull now,
and now I will say I can click this and I can hit S to make it, and you go through them all. But if you've already done it,
well, I just gave them dumb names. I didn't.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go. So now you have field names, my very creatively named fields. Very helpful.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna call this one bad coded, because for obvious reasons there. And then if I can just go ahead and push my change back to you, or you could change it to something. Actually, you want to change something. You change it to something else, and we'll show the merge. Show the merge UI maybe.
Hang on.
I would say the merge UI is definitely got some more work to be done to make the merge process a little bit smoother. It's still in kind of developer mode.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and push that so you can show off the conflict. So I pushed it. Go ahead and try to pull.
So I'm gonna try to stick my change. Oh no, you've got good code. No, it's not good coded. It's bad coded, right? So
then choose your change instead of mine.
I'm gonna choose my change. So I pulled mine.
Fine.
All right. Well then now you've got the right one, right? So there we go.
We've got so now I have bad
resolutions. You've got bad coded, and we can keep reversing this. I'm curious in the chat if y'all have any feature requests or questions about like how stuff works. I think this will be a really nice feature, and since we're still kind of hashing it out and working on features and fixes, now's a really good time to provide us feedback. So definitely chime in if y'all have ideas. But one other quick mention: the theme for the day is the reflection theme. So actually, I tweeted about this a couple days ago. It's my new favorite Binary Ninja theme. Although part of the reason why it's my favorite, I realized it is really similar to the default dark theme. It actually has a lot of similar colors, but I think the slight blue tint to it instead of the gray or kind of background on Binja is on the default dark is nice. But I always want to make sure I highlight the themes that people are choosing. Corey says, future stream of collab reversing an unknown binary would be great to show off. Actually, what would be cool is if we had like audience streaming too. We could actually bring in like even so like a Discord like multi-user chat or something and have multiple
Twitch plays
people.
Binary Ninja.
Twitch plays Binary Ninja. I don't know that we'd want to wire it up that way, but we could actually have multiple people reversing together. That's a good idea, Corey. We might, especially as we get closer, start opening up the beta test.
Yeah, and down the line, we have plans for just some nice to haves. You know, we were trying it internally, and I think Peter brought up that it would be really nice to have kind of a like Slack-like chat log.
Yeah.
Maybe per function, maybe globally. Who knows? We haven't made it yet. Real-time support for collaboration is on the roadmap down the line, but for MVP and for the foreseeable future, it'll be kind of commit based on or for focused on larger projects.
All right, I just sent you
real time now.
I sent you a message. If you query metadata for Josh, I use the chat functionality. This is not.
Oh God.
Yeah, Peter and I were joking about
the chat
this.
function.
There's no. But yeah, I think even actually one thing too is like location of other users. So as you're like going around seeing where people are at.
I mean that kind of comes with real time.
So
for
GameMind, we could to GameMind's question too. We could actually have almost real time if we just like cranked up this auto syncing, and if there were less some of the bugs we're working through with some like the merges that show up a little too often. You could make it more real time like, right? You could kind of have it operate like that, but
no, right now for the base, it's really heavily kind of redundant because we haven't flushed out all the bugs yet, but eventually would like to get down to a Delta format that would make real time, a flick of a switch.
Yeah, and then just kind of constantly do it. Google Docs has definitely been like a nice workflow. Although, and the other reason, not just the sort of performance design issue, but the other reason that we focused on this use case is I think long-term large project is in some ways the harder one to solve, right? Because if you're always syncing every change at a micro level, it's a lot easier to stay synced up and to keep people from stepping on each other's toes or diverging too far and having to like do major rebases essentially or merges or like trying to deal with that. So I think we're going to solve more of those problems first, and then actually doing something sort of like just quicker syncing of that same stuff. Hopefully will be straightforward. And so John's actually in the chat who wrote this this theme.
Answering Evan's question, that kind of is a limitation of the current system. But for the final product, there's planned to have support for different branches. The actual UI for that is going to be a nightmare, so it's going to take a little longer.
We've been looking at a lot of like Git UIs and like evaluating how various Git tools do it and trying to get inspiration for good workflows for managing branches and keeping users from doing the wrong thing and making it easy to do the right thing. And that's a good question. Yeah, so long running branches is definitely a goal. The current workflows does
as well as that, snapshot names right now aren't really displayed anywhere. They're displayed in our like fancy debug UI, but that's about it.
I could show I could show the debug UI, or would you rather I not?
No,
Is it
it's
too
so
embarrassing?
bad.
There's a developer.
No, I mean, go ahead.
All right, we'll show it off.
It just shows the information that's accessible from
this linear.
Yeah.
The colors are really the part that, that we were giving.
Before the colors, it was there was a while where I didn't even have line breaks in there, but Glenn made it much fancier. You can see like the contents of a field,
but not theme aware, right? So so you can kind of see this is this is just for us for under the hood. I mean, maybe we'll leave it in and put it behind a setting or something. It certainly will will not be.
It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But you can see like it has the snapshot names, it has a snapshot creator, it has the date. So ideally down the line, would like to put that all into a nice UI.
Yep. And like I said, so location data is also tracked there. So where my cursor is is there. And so that, again, that's also what allows us to, not debugger. I did my just silly graph. I still have my debugger breakpoint. So yeah, being able to see where other people are at, or even like their highlight lines kind of showing up as we browse around together. And yeah, that would be nice. What's are there other things that are on your roadmap for as we work through the current list of like bugs and features, things that are coming to it?
Other than that, let's see. Being able to see what's changed and hasn't been pushed in the actual conflict manager, a better UI there. So maybe side by side, being able to see a block that changed, or being able to explore a function.
Yeah, see it like, and I see the change in the context of the function where it actually occurred,
and be able to choose which function you'd like to end up with. Let's see.
I'm gonna go ahead and do Jordan's not good at reverse engineering, but he's gonna do the basics here on it, and I'll push you some more changes. You can see more of the
also on the list is like signed snapshots and keys for individual users. So I don't know if there are any standards that like make collaborative things need to be signed or attributed to certain users with some probability, but that's definitely just cool from a crypto perspective, being able to distribute keys and have some proofs there. I mean, if anyone can think of anything else.
There we go. Is check keys also going to take a nuke? Well, yeah, it was the nuke structure, wasn't it, that had the key? Yeah, so this is also going to take so that's going to take a nuke.
I think it takes a pointer.
Or is it yep.
Yeah, because you see the offsets. But if anyone has any other suggestions, post it in chat, post it in public Slack. I don't think we have a collaboration channel, but you can post it in the main channel, or it sounds like Jordan wants to make one.
Yeah, you heard me inhale. That's a great idea. We should do that. I mean, what's like debugger had kind of like its own set of conversations and stuff. It's nice to split them out.
Yeah, so it's early enough in the production stage where any suggestions that seem really nice to have can be added in, but it's late enough to where we have that ability to test and kind of give feedback to design ideas and potential new features pretty quickly.
I don't know what this one is. 80CD. Do I not want to know? I'm trying to turn the elite speak hex into it's something cake. CA.
Oh, I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's dead beef sword with something. I did this lab 6 years ago.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that one's the cake field. Excuse me. Cool. All right. Well, here I'll push my changes.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'll definitely
get a better grade in your assignment now, because you.
Oh yeah.
If people want to check, if people want to actually check out the binary, I think it's on the RPI sec binary exploitation.
MBE, modern binary exploitation. This is the project 2, the final project, and it's called Nuke.
Yep.
And MBE was kind of the student run or RPI sec run exploitation course, because RPI doesn't do cybersecurity. So
wait a minute, hold on. RPI doesn't officially
RPI sec has made like 4 courses, and RPI is like grabbed 2 of them up. So
they teach the course that I mean, I knew that like the club has taught like the course, like other schools have done that too.
Yeah.
Oh no.
The club officers generally teach the course or TA the course, and then there's an overseeing professor. It's a big mess, but the courses are mostly available on RPISec's GitHub, which is just RPISec. So nice. If anyone's interested in the RE or exploitation courses, feel free to look there.
I should pull those up, but I just realized that I've been a bad dad. I was supposed to get my kids pizza. My wife's working. So I'm going to order them on the app real quick so they don't starve. And if anybody else in chat has a question for Josh, Please ask. Now's a great time to ask. While I make sure my children get fed.
Ooh, I need to take my cat to church. I don't.
Yeah, got to wash my gerbil
Yeah, my
hair.
dog is on the moon. I forgot him. Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of a small enough demo. Collaboration is intentionally not very flashy. It's not structure variable cross references, which are like life changing for a reverse engineer. It's supposed to be very kind of passive, something that just works and you don't need to worry about it. There already exists the merge tool, which acts on user actions, but that's more for working on a CTF and you want to share your BNDB with a person next to you,
or you're going to bed, you're handing it off to somebody else, and or making a little bit of changes, but it's not like it wouldn't be as good of a workflow for like constantly like syncing stuff back and forth, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, the merge tool is very much meant to be a one-off. You want to give your binary to someone else for them to continue. And it was kind of the proof of concept for collaboration, which has been baking for a long time.
Yeah, been working on it for a while. So, I don't think we're gonna bring it up, but there is like a web-based admin interface. Why don't you talk about some of the functionality in terms of like that as well that it has?
Oh yeah, no. So like there's permission management down to the project. And based on that, every user right now, there are just default groups of being able to view, edit, or admin the project. Admin lets you add users, and edit obviously lets you edit. View just lets you see the analysis and not actually push any changes. And those are customizable. You can add more groups later on. So with the public service that we're planning on running down the line, it'll be kind of a pseudo like Git for binary analysis, where you can control who has access.
Yeah, I mean, even the thing already, the project that you set up, you added my user,
Yeah.
you gave it access to the to that particular project. And
yeah, there are other projects on the server that you can't see, like Glenn and I going back and forth, breaking everything.
Thanks, Glenn, as well. Yeah, so just as credit where credit's due, you and Glenn have been the primary developers of this. Actually, the only two really. They've been working on it for a while.
Yeah, Brian did project settings in the beginning.
That's true.
But
that's
had
true.
to, yeah. But Glenn and I have done the bulk of it here. I've mostly been doing server side. Glenn has done, like, I think all the UI. I did a little bit with authentication in the remote browser, but he's really been the main person doing that, as well as like merge conflict splitting and
kind of a good split, server side, client side.
It's honestly, I was expecting the server to just be kind of a dumb node of, hey, take in information, toss it out. But there needs to be so much validation and so much kept track of to have collaboration work cleanly. I don't know how many pages of this notebook I've drawn graphs on that, go against algorithms I've implemented that I need to tear down and start over. And so it's definitely really interesting.
Yeah, mine had a question about does undo work in the collaborative context, which is a great question. Like, what happens if you undo?
So that's something that we don't have enabled right now because we're ironing out other bugs, but the plan is to carry undo through merges. Yeah.
And to be clear, like they're actually semi-related. We thought at one point we were going to literally just build the same undo system would sort of make collaboration possible. It's not quite the same, but it is similar, like, right, where the serialized changes that go through the undo system are also what are sent back and forth for collaboration.
With real time, like with the merge tool, that's how it works.
Yeah.
And with real time collaboration, that'll probably influence part of it. But no, like I said, it's a lot of redundant data being sent down. Once we get it boiled down to deltas, then it'll be more like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and the other thing game mind too about it, if two people, like one person accidentally removes a function and somebody else like names that function, you'll get that merge, essentially the merge conflict, the merge resolution tool will pop up and sort of give you both the changes and let you choose. So anytime two changes are incompatible, if they apply cleanly, it's just like Git, right? Anytime they apply cleanly, they just work. If I do something and you do something else, it's unrelated. They both just will happen. But if I try to make a change to something that you've removed and you didn't actually remove it, I can just take my change over your change and carry on, right? So that's stuff. And then your change will essentially revert that on your side once you pull the next set of changes.
Yeah. And the idea is down the line, once we get more fine-grained provenance available in Binary Ninja Core, you'll be able to see kind of what users changed what blocks, where that came from, when that was done, messages made with the snapshot, so on and so forth. But that's much further down the line.
Yeah, get it working first, and then I'll add chat and location tracking and better, exact, precise, like heuristic summaries of changes and all sorts of other stuff. So that's coming. So yeah, I mean, if the user, so if the user makes a damage change, you just pull it, and then they undo that change. I'm not sure.
No, like if you pull an opt-out block or something,
yeah.
Like the question was, can you just Control Z and undo it? And the answer is yeah. That feature is not in right now, but that's the thing, is to just be able to undo.
Undo on my side too. But how do I know which thing is the last one that I would undo? That would be a little trickier.
User actions are ordered and grouped, so you can actually push that, and every action.
But I don't know.
I don't know in
advance, right? But I don't know in advance that my undo will do that thing versus some other thing if I pull multiple changes, I guess.
There's an open issue like that'll solve that on the API repo, which is the undo history browser. Yeah. So you'll be able to selectively undo history, and not linearly.
So, right. So I could sort of like, so it would undo all the way up to that point, or I could pull out one thing from that. I don't know.
You can pull out one thing from the history
and just undo that thing. Yeah. That's again, to be clear, game mind, those don't exist yet. Neither one of those two features, but they're both.
Yeah. The undo browser is not inherently part of collaboration. It just so happens to play nicely with it.
Yeah. Yep. It's also there's a bug on that. Cool. Anybody else have questions on collaboration? Again, like I was talking about, like, I'm like, let's do demo. People are like, but it's just going to show you not having to reverse stuff because it's already done. I'm like, well, yeah, but like, that's the point, right? It's like a really nice workflow. So we have been using it and making sure that, it doesn't get in the way. It doesn't kind of slow you down, and it just kind of works. So I really, most of it's rebase. Peter, you want us to rebase on stream? Is that what you're asking for? I'm not sure. It worked. It got a little dicey there. I think it did eventually work. Yeah, like I had to pull twice, and then it worked the last time we tried to rebase.
I'll rebase.
Unless we want to see. Yeah, so that's like amongst the things that would mess the most up potentially. Can you take a shared project offline, work on it, and then push it later date? Yeah, exactly, John. Yes. You absolutely can. That right now already works really well. You can make a whole bunch of changes, save them locally, reconnect, and then push all your batch step changes. That's part of the exact workflow right now. In fact, well, I don't want to do this while we're rebasing in particular, because that's like one of the, like the diciest things that
I pushed my rebase. You can pull it whenever.
All right, let's.
I don't think you're sharing your screen, are you?
I am. So oh no, that's right. I'm not.
Oh, you are. Oh no, I'm the call.
Yep. I just pulled it. I see it still rebased at null. Maybe I didn't pull the right change. Let me think.
Yeah, I pushed it. Try closing and reopening. That's probably what you have to do, because it requires a binary view recreation right now.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Okay, so that was the.
Yep.
That was the change. Yeah, that will be improved, so you don't even have to do that. But yeah, you can actually just rebase the whole binary as well. And
editing undo history. Oh, I see. Oh, not literally rebase, but editing undo history is
rebase, right?
Okay.
But hey, we showed off rebase too while we were at it.
Yeah, sure.
Rebase the binary. Yeah, that name collision is kind of annoying. Like rebase a binary and also get rebase.
Making APIs that take functions and a type, like it's really bad when it comes to reverse engineering tool development.
Yeah,
the name
the names
just never send.
or our type library, type annotations on a class called
import
type.
types.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, that was some fun. All right. Well, I think that's. Oh, look, see, there's more strings that need to be named. Man, like, what's all this? What's all this extra reverse engineering that we need to do here now? There we go. I got them all better. I'll push that. All right. Well, I think well, if you want to hang around, I'm gonna look back over the issues closed in the last week. We'll summarize that for a little bit, and then I'll have our third guest joining us. Like you said, you can hang for now, or you can hop off. Either way.
Yeah, I think I'll just hang around in the stream chat. But thanks.
Sweet. All right, it's good to see you. Cheers.
Yeah, see you.
All right, bye, Josh. So I'm gonna pull up GitHub because full disclosure, Xusheng is not up yet. I think it's 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. where he's at, and so he's the one who's been working on a lot of really cool search improvements, and I wanted to introduce him to the stream and let him show it off. And I think with the time change, it'll be even worse for him in a couple weeks. So by doing that now, we'll get him able to hop on stream. But how's everybody doing in the chat? You guys are a little quieter. I guess you've been chatting a fair amount, but everybody, let's go look at this. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. Yes, milestones. So one of the biggest things that we've done is we've covered our 3.0 milestones. I don't think I talked about these last week on stream. We have put together so we do a rough quarterly release cycle, and we have put this plan for a June 1st release for Binary Ninja 3.0, and it's a big, version change. And one of the reasons that we're going to do that is because we're going to do I think it's under here. Yeah, we call it just UI enhancements. Very, very boring name, but is going to encompass a bunch of Fox. I did grab that binary, but I'm going to save up until I've got enough time to take a look at it more, and I don't want to spoil myself too much. This week we had 3 guests that I wanted to join, but actually, maybe we'll maybe if we want to reverse it together, maybe you can join the stream. Maybe we'll do that binary for a collaborative reverse engineering session where we can let other people from chat join. If you're interested in doing a collaborative reverse engineering stream, testing out the beta server, assuming that the collaboration server is in a good state for testing, it'll be 2 weeks because next week I'm off on the stream. But maybe that's the binary that we'll use. That could work out really well. So we can do that. Join the collaboration channel in the Binary Ninja Slack. So that's what I was about to say. So if anybody else would like to join us in that, create a channel called Collaboration. Yeah, there's now a channel called Collaboration on the Binary Ninja Slack. I'll give a shout out to the first user to join on there. And we can discuss in there. Maybe we'll set up like a group reverse engineering challenge. So the 3.0 milestones, they can go through the full list. John joined. Thank you. Excellent. First one in. The main focus is going to be on a lot of like the UI quality of life improvements. In fact, you'll see a lot of the stuff that's already even almost done or coming in really soon to dev, like we're gonna talk about with our search improvements are specifically for this, right? So it's all about improving the workflows around the UI, less about adding APIs or changing the APIs or there, although certainly some of these will do that. So you'll see a bunch of like view related stuff. Stack view, that's a really commonly voted for one. In fact, I think if we actually look at our issues right now and sort by thumbs up, I think stack view is probably going to be in the top. Number 3, right? So this is a good view to figure out like what things that we're probably going to go after next. And if you have features and bugs you're looking for, this is where you go to vote for them. Decompile to C. Also on our list, so you'll notice that one made the 3.0 release plan. array of structs. That one is actually, yeah, it's way easier. I can literally just look at the tags. So if you actually look through here, we've all got the top 5 issues are all tagged for 3.0. So we should be able to get those. And actually, if we go down, how many thumbs up does this one have? So 14 thumbs up. Okay, good. And then how many? 13. That's close behind it. But yeah, so everything with 14 thumbs up or above is going to get closed out if we can finish the full list. So there's a bunch of really good items here. My favorites, if I was looking through this, let me see. I'm looking forward to filtering in types view because right now, if you do have a lot of types, you can find in it. You can just use text search to find through it, but it's not nearly as nice as a true filter would be. So I'm looking forward to that one. I know some people are looking forward to decompile to C. I think this one also has a downvote. 3 downvotes, yeah. That people are like, we have high level IL. What do we need C for? So that one maybe is a little more contentious, but I know certainly some people will be excited by that. Stack view is nice. Function editor. Yeah, the function, being able to edit the function. I think my top 2 are going to be filtering in types view, and we'll do 3 search enhancements, but then the UI enhancements. So it's like some of the UI stuff that's coming, and this will be a little bit experimental, so we'll play with it and see. But this may change the way Binary Ninja looks pretty dramatically, right? So we might, much like Code, Visual Studio Code, where they have like this sort of toolbar on the side that access these. They're basically modal dialogues, but instead of like, filling a space in the middle, they're just modal on the side. And so you're in one of these modes. You're in like source control mode, or you're in debug mode. We would have, you're in symbol view mode where you can see all the functions and variables and all the other symbols. And then you might be in search mode, right? Where you're actually able to find everything and have a persistent search list. Or maybe that, lives in a different kind of widget. But like these sort of like sticky side, extension, that's another really good one, right? Moving the extension manager instead of like its separate full pop-up that it is currently, moving this to be something where you could like bring up an extension, install it right from here, much in the same way that you can on that, right? So you can actually use this extension viewer, but you can also look at those while you're looking at code. So yeah, open up these ephemeral tabs. So that's something. Oh, excellent, Xusheng, you made it. If you actually hop onto the link, I think we'll bring you right in and we'll show off what you've been working on. Let me add. As soon as you join, we'll add your video back. So the this is our new record. We've had 3 people. I think we've had 2 before. I feel like we may have had a week with two guests on, but 3 guests, that'll be a record that'll probably be for a while until I figure out how to do better multi-party overlays and stuff or set up layouts for that. So that's kind of what we're thinking for it. But I think more than anything, there's several other like minor things. Like if you notice when you move that tab, because the function list is over here as opposed to under sort of the tab, these tabs move back and forth. That's one of my pet peeves. So there's several little UI things that are going to be coming with that. With this UI enhancement improvement, and I'm looking forward to those. So yeah, it should be a very, very visible, noticeable set of changes that will make workflows nicer and smoother. But there's also still some high level stuff coming in here. So I think if I look, is there high level? Is it high? Well, that's gonna get that level. Yeah, I want to say there was. Oh yeah, right here, this one. Suboptimal arrays of structs. Yeah, so better array references is coming in through now. That actually will be a nice one as well. That'll be a good kind of quality of analysis. And then all the usual bug fixes and whatnot. So as soon as Xusheng joins us, let me make sure. Let's see, is he? Oh, it's Xusheng. If you're in the not the link that I DM'd you, but the link in the stream channel on the Slack. I actually am using a different link, so I apologize. I probably sent you to the wrong link. So let me. In case your audio isn't up, link is in the stream channel. There we go. Sorry for swallowing the microphone there. And so while Xusheng is joining, let's go over here and pull up. So this is the Binary Ninja test build that I was using that had the collaboration in it, and this Binary Ninja test build has the search improvements that Xusheng's been working on. So if you remember the was it last stream? I think it was last stream where we really first showed off some of those variable cross references, which I showed off earlier just as I was working through this sample binary that we had. I'm waiting for Josh, by the way, to troll me with some type out of here. And for it to pop up, but we'll see. Oh, I see. I have to pull, so that's right. He can't actively troll me unless I pull to accept it. I don't know where that newt type went. Which one? Init key. Init keys. Extract. There we go. So yeah, this referenceability was one of the things that. Okay, excellent. Joined. I don't see you. I think you joined the wrong. Yeah, I think you might be in the other link. Josh, see if you can send that via Slack to Xusheng. Make sure we get him in the right channel. I think he's on a different link because I still don't see anybody else in chat right now, or in the link. So yeah. Xusheng's been doing a lot of great work, added these variable cross references, type cross references, even when you have a struct that references another struct, that you can get those cross references as well in this view like that. That's all stuff he's working on. And here is the test build. And by the way, this is what I was talking about, those really long URLs. These are a result of the other test build that doesn't have there we go. I just heard a ding.
Hello, Jordan.
Welcome, Xusheng. I gotcha. Yep. Perfect. Sorry for changing the link on you. That's my fault.
That's fine. Maybe you want me to move my image a little bit to the middle, or I can.
There you go.
Myself. If you, I can move.
If you move to your right, there you go. That'll center you a little bit more. Okay. Yeah. Sorry about that. I need to crop and resize the thing there. It's fine. They can hear you. That's the important bit, and we can see the new test build up here. So and this so Towel says hello, by the way. Got some folks welcoming you already in chat. Thanks for friendly chat.
Yeah. So should I just introduce myself?
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Well, welcome to the stream. Thanks for joining me. And it's early in the morning for you, so I apologize for the time.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine, and I appreciate that you're inviting me here. And my name is Xusheng, and I have been working with Binary Ninja for almost a year. So I really enjoy the experience that I can work on something that is very cool, and also be with this fantastic team and make some impact to what I really think is important.
And you've worked on a lot of stuff. So tell the chat like some of the stuff I mentioned. Obviously, the type cross references, variable cross references that you've been working on. What are some of the other things that you've done in your time here?
Yeah. So one thing that people should be able to notice is I would down the variable cross reference and the type cross reference, which I spent almost 3 months on it to get from the very beginning, the planning to the shipping on dev. And now I'm working on search enhancement, basically what supports persistent search result and searching multiple ranges among other search enhancement. So basically, our old, I think it's a almost complete redo of what we have in the search.
Yeah, actually, I can pull up both since I have. Where we go? Quit this one.
No, the latest test build should already have both because that one is already on dev and you now have the test build.
That's true. I can go grab a previous stable, I think. Let's see which stable this is. We'll see how many binary ninjas we can bring up at the same time.
Yeah, that's should be infinite.
There we go.
As long as you don't run anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here was this is like the previous search, and we always call this definitely an MVP, right? It lacks, there's no regular expressions, you can't constrain the search, you just can go to the next item. Like it's not great. Like it's not great. It's been something we wanted to work on for a while.
So one of the reason that I was still using one of the other hex editor other than Binary Ninja is the search, because search was really limited in our previous versions, and that's where I'm working on. So yeah, if you can pull up the latest test.
This should be your test build. So now if I hit Control F to search, looks a little different.
Yes. So we can see that we have a find all button, that checkbox that can be checked or unchecked. Yes, if it's checked, we have a persistent search result here. You can search, maybe you want to sort it. Yes, so it's still some glitches, but it will be fixed eventually.
Very small,
so we
UI
have
stuff being worked on.
And we have the match function and the preview, and what data actually matches it. The data is useful when you search in case sensitive. So for example, it also matches capitalized ABC, so it can show you what actually got matched. Yeah. You see here. Yeah.
So if I would have done that case sensitive, we would have gotten no results because there's nothing else that,
Yes. Also, if you search for hex, let's have a test flag. Just types no, hex decimal.
If I actually
61, 61, 61. That is 3A.
Oh, right. Yep.
And yes, you will get the same result, but click find, please. Oh.
Case insensitive, and now find. Wait a minute. Oh, these were only text result. Hold on, let me get one that's actually here. So if I do like a Stallman showed up, right? So if I search for that, I'm gonna get a Stallman reference. And now if I go get that as hex and Control P, copy as hex. Raw hex, and now find, paste. Now do a hex string search. There we go.
That doesn't matter anymore. Yes.
There we go.
And you see here, the match data actually shows the hex. So if you search for hex, it will show hex. It will search for ASCII, it will show ASCII. So this is one of the small things that make you feel better about the
interesting. The case insensitivity will actually match if you do hex view too, which is actually kind of cool. It translates between case. That's nice.
Yeah. And also you see at the bottom of the dialog we have a search range selection options. You can search for all, which is the all binary view. That's easy to understand. And we have custom range. You can input whatever you want there. And you can yes, and you can also search for current function.
Which I should go do a function before I do that, and then I can select it. So like if I'm in linear view and I'm not in a function, it's just not going to let me select it because there is no function selected.
It will still let you select it, but it will tell you the range is invalid. So
right now it doesn't. Actually, it's not even letting me select it, which is actually good behavior because I don't have a function.
Yes. So yeah, it tries its best to prevent some of the combinations that doesn't make sense. So for example, if you also so for example, if you're not in a function, and you cannot select current function, and if you are not in a binary view, I believe it won't crash, and it will tell you the range is invalid because it's not in binary view. It cannot do anything.
Yeah, so if I just have like a hex view, and
range still works.
Okay,
It's
range
just
was.
range.
Yeah, but function
Yes,
is
if this,
off. Yeah,
yes.
that's true. Because you might want to limit your range to
Yeah.
some subset of the file.
So yeah, so so the UI doesn't offer all of the possibilities. So the code actually supports searching in arbitrary number of ranges. So you can start from 0 to 100 and start from 200 to 300 or whatever
Nice.
number of ranges you'd like to. Although there is no way to do it from the UI, you can definitely do it from the Python API. And what you offer is a list of range, and the callback function to be called whenever a match is found. And the callback is fed with the address of the match and the actual data buffer of the match. So,
and that's how you're
can
generating your
do whatever.
previews when you're in your persistent search results, where it gets the.
Yes.
So we got a couple questions in chat. AOB search could be neat. What is AOB search, Fox? I'm not certain. Like A or B? AOB. Not sure.
Is it A on B?
Any array of bytes. I mean,
I think you have to convert the array of bytes to raw hex and then do the search. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, which you can use the transform APIs. I'm still not sure I actually understand. Like maybe there's a different meaning that I'm not like byte array pattern. Like, can you show me an example? Like, oh, like if you have this and you want to search for that. Okay. So yeah, what I would do here is from integer list 8-bit elements, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that will actually paste those values, and then I would select all copy as raw hex, and then I would find them. That's how I would do that for the array bytes. It's not like an option here, but it's really fast with the transform APIs.
Yes.
And but then GameMind had another really good question of, does it support wildcards? Can you do wildcards? There's no regular expression.
Not yet, but it's planned. So I think we will support regex directly, but not wildcards, because regex is just more
It's a superset.
powerful.
It really is a superset at that point. Yeah, you could implement any.
Yeah.
And I was actually pull up the search. Yeah. So here's the list of some of the ideas for this release, and what you're basically already have in testing and hopefully will be on dev soon is current function search, range-based search, persistent results. Right. So you've already got much of this list done, and then that will leave a couple improving the speed, text search of IL views. And
yeah, so our plan is get something done in a reasonable time and improvement. So iterate over that later. So it's not going to take months to get it done, because search is not as complicated as cross references. So that can be faster, and people can offer feedback as we shape new features. So that's the plan. I will shape 2 rounds or 3 rounds of commits to dev before the next version, either 3.0 or 2.4. So yes, that's the plan.
I got you. Okay, so some of the conversation chat is about how wildcard might have some utility still because of performance considerations, basically. So doing wildcard plus byte pattern lets you do faster search, as opposed to a regex engine could have some performance issues potentially for large files. So that's interesting. That's good feedback. Well, yeah, we can talk about that. Maybe it does make sense then to implement a wildcard separately. I think we'll probably ship the current state of planned stuff, but that's yeah.
Yeah. And in terms of performance, there is a plan to make the searching code multi-threaded, and
Yeah.
it will make the search super fast,
Yeah.
depending on how many cores you have. But in general, it will be super fast. Although there are some technical difficulties at the moment that I haven't solved yet, because the splitting of the ranges and the coordination of the multiple threads. And so, like, if in the future we will have regex running and multiple threading, so it's like everything just adds up to the complexity. We have to handle them one by one. So yeah, things can be done. I mean, if we add all of them together, then it's not going to be handleable.
Yeah, but like I said, I think what we have now is already really close to landing on dev, and then you can continue to add out the features. Yeah, no back references you can get really fast regex implementations. So we'll look into all those and see what kind of performance looks like, and if it's fast enough with regex, that might just be sufficient for the wildcards.
Yeah.
But
well, I see people are discussing the performance implications of regex support, and I'm saying you don't have to worry about that too much, because there is a secret for supporting regex searching in many of the tools, that it actually limits longest matches of the regular expression. So actually, this is a limitation. So like I might have to limit a match to 1,000 chars.
Yeah.
To make this performance reasonable. Otherwise, it will just search for the entire binary and
but I think that's totally fine. I think we can make some assumptions like that to get both power and flexibility, but also fast. So yeah, we'll hop on the Slack and we'll have a whole longer conversation, I think, about different search mechanisms. There's a lot of research in that domain, and be interesting to see what makes sense. But appreciate the ideas and the feedback from people. That's a good conversation.
Yeah, Tavo is talking about DFA, which is his domain.
I know in general that discrete finite autonoma are useful in regex evaluation, as long as you don't do backrefs, I think, right? Like I think you can do it without backrefs.
Yeah.
But well, cool. Yeah, I'm excited because I think that's it's one of the more noticeable big UI features that people are going to see first on dev, amongst the many other UI changes for the 3.0 that are coming out. So.
Yeah, and also we actually support filtering of the search result. If you
that's right. Yeah, let me go back to that. Thanks for not letting me forget that.
Yeah, you just go to anywhere and search for yes. We can filter the search results. So we don't have Y charts at the moment, but maybe this can solve some of the problems that people want to solve.
Yeah, so being able to do a search, you get the results down in the search results. And by the way, this is a doc widget, so you can take it and if you want to move it around or play with it, you can move it around. But yeah, and then subfilter it is a nice.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, this search actually does regex matching, so you can type whatever regex in it. And the reason we do it here because it's the search key or the search target is really
yeah, it's only a list of things that
short.
Got.
Yes, really short, and we can support it. And also we have the regex engine from Qt to be used here. If we are in the core, we either choose another regex engine, or we somehow interface Qt into our core, to make things work.
Yep. So, Game Mind, it's search all the way down. Search your search for your search. So your search. Keep all sorts of search.
Yeah, search section. Okay.
Exactly. Awesome. Yeah, I'm looking for that. Hopefully, we'll get this. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if we've talked about exactly when, but I would hope in another week or two, this will be on dev for everybody to try, and they can continue to give us more feedback, and you'll keep working on the rest of the search stuff that I know is gonna be nice.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And here is a small, somehow secret that find all actually works better than find next for now. So like if you experience some problem with find next, maybe try find all, unless you have a huge binary like gigabytes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, try find all, and that should work better.
Nice. Only until you finish your refactor, I'm sure. But that's it's good to know for the people that are on dev. As soon as it comes out, they can get that. Yeah. Not to mention even the filtering and the other features which make it nicer. So that's nice.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks again for coming by. Does the chat have any? You got a couple questions already. Thanks. Any other feedback or questions from folks watching? I'm trying to think of anything else that's. What was it that you worked on before variables? You've done a bunch of other changes as well too. So I'd have to go back and look at the logs. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you've contributed to this. It's been a very productive year.
Yeah, I have worked on like things like display as in linear view, among other smaller changes. The lifting of x86.
Yeah, all of the unimplementeds have gone away, or most of them have because of your work. You did a lot of that with vector instructions even, and doing them as intrinsics or was it intrinsics that you were doing them or not as intrinsics? I forget.
So there are tons of x86 instructions, and for those we don't have lifting, I lift them to intrinsics, and the type information is actually extracted from the Intel.
That's right, Zed. Yeah, because Zed gives you information about taint, essentially registers read and written in memory, read and written. You can include that information without knowing exactly how it operates.
Yes, and what is interesting is that single commit helps me commit like tens of thousands of code at once. And like if we have a most prolific dev for the year, I think I'm probably winning it. I'm not sure because
Although it depends if you count the open sourcing of the architectures, because I think whoever landed that commit gets might have won. And Andrew had some code-gen stuff as well too. But yeah, several folks with large commits. Yeah, Towel really likes those linear view updates. And yeah, there's been a couple other ones where being able to do the same things in linear view versus the graph view that was a super annoying bug. The fact that there was a difference. Yeah, that's another great set of changes that you worked on.
So just for Towel, we still have something that doesn't work in linear view. Like I'm not sure whether highlighting works. We have no preview. Like if you hover on something, it doesn't pop up a preview window, as it will do in graph view.
Oh, I turned that off anyways. I disable that because I don't like that preview. I've actually got that setting off.
And I remember people filing issues about something that also doesn't work in linear view but works in graph view. So I think in the long-term plan is we will make them behave the same. I mean, and if you are really wanting some certain features, please let me know. Maybe file some issue or sum up an existing issue, so that we know people are wanting that, and we can change our priority and make it work faster.
Somebody asked if we think regular expressions can be applied to sub-byte searching. So like bit patterns, I imagine, or I mean, you can implement that with character classes in a regex potentially, right? You can multi-match on all the possible bit patterns because there's not that many depending on what you want to search for. That's not a great video, but I assume that's what you're talking about when you say sub-byte, right? Like being able to like either match a nibble or something else. You can kind of do it like the not super efficient way, but just multi-selective.
And so the other way is just dump a hex of the binary and just search. Let's say in the future we already have regex and search for, because if you already have the hex dump for the file, then you can do regular regex search and find out the result. But if you really want to search for a particular bit, that's not we support for now. And I believe you have to down some code by yourself to make it work, I believe.
Yeah, the follow-up comment is that they say, what I usually want a wildcard for is like half a byte. Like, yeah, question 0 AC when searching for pointers when you don't know the base address. Right, or you've got, yeah, something's rebased or, aligned weird and you just want to find like the lower, 3 nibbles or something. Or, byte and a nibble. So text search will get you that now. If there are references to those things, like if it's an immediate value, but not the address itself, right? I think we intentionally exclude the address from the search currently, because that was actually a bug when we were testing, was that we would find references twice potentially for the address of it, and then sometimes a reference in it. But yeah, I wonder if actually like making address search an option specifically for people who want to find. But no, I think for most of your purposes, Towel, like you don't want to go to the address. You want to like search for references to that address, which actually, yeah, you can do. You can do that with the text search. And you wouldn't need, I think you can even do that right now. So like here's a great example where this data variable is at 380, right? I can just do a find for 380. And if I'm doing a text search, it's actually searching the linear disassembly. I did all find all. I didn't really want that. It should just be the next one. Right, so I can find 380. So you can find references that way. You can't search, right? You can't currently search for the address here. But that might do it.
I mean, if people want the search to include the addresses, I can definitely change it. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, I would disable it or make another checkbox here. I wouldn't make it the default just because I feel like you get more results than you intended sometimes with it. But hex search, on the bytes itself, right? So you're saying you want to search in the bytes of the binary, right? But you only want to find 402, not 0402. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. So right now, when we talk about implementing regular expression search, I think we're talking about regular expression across the text, but really, maybe you want to do regular expression across either, and then you choose what you're actually doing it over: the raw binary, the disassembly. That's something to think about. Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm suggesting earlier is he can actually copy the data as raw hex and do a text or data search from there. So maybe could you please navigate to the hex?
Yeah, you could do that. It's a hack, but like right. So copy this, copy paste
as raw hex
from raw.
Yeah, and search for whatever.
I did that wrong. Just from escape string.
Just copy
or just paste. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So now you could do your text search. Yeah. That's a kludgy workaround, but that would work for. If it was really big, it'd be kind of annoying. But yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, I mean.
No, this is great feedback. This is great. These are good ideas. So keep them coming, and then yeah. Yes. Yes.
Of
so
course, it doesn't look great.
It could be done in the No, they say it is looking great. They're saying that they like what we have so far. They just want all the features. They want even more, but they're really happy with what they're seeing. But I think Tal was also saying it could easily be done as a regex, but again, that implies the regex can search over the hex, or you have to be able to toggle what you're actually searching with that regex. So I think that's still a question. But all right, well, I need to go make sure that the food I ordered made it to my children and they're eating. That's right. Before we're done, we'll have all the features. That's right. Anybody have final questions for us or thoughts before we kind of sign off on the stream? The new Rust regex. I mean, everything else is written in Rust these days. We're adding more and more Rust. So.
Yeah. Hello, Brian.
Brian's in the chat. I'm not sure I like
use the Rust regex API.
I'm not sure I like my colors filters. I think it's better this way. I'm probably gonna stop doing that. It doesn't look as good once the sun sets. Oh, nice. He's already got a prototype for it. Well, good. Yeah, send that diff over to Xusheng to include in the other improvements. Nice.
Yeah. Rust.
I think you can. Oh, can you write headless plugins in Rust now? I don't know. That's a good question. So, Tal, there's the Rust channel in the Slack. Maybe you're already in there. But there's a bunch of folks banging on different parts of the Rust API. It's still very early, but there's a number of functional things that people are doing with it. So yeah, you'd have to check with them. I haven't checked in on the state of that. And actually on our side, Kyle is doing the main work on integrating the Rust API right now, and he's on vacation this week. So I don't think we've made any progress, at least this week. And on that note, I'm on vacation next week, so I will not be doing the stream next week. But thanks everybody very much for hanging out with us. It's been a long stream, lots of cool stuff to show off.
Yep.
But yeah, and thanks for waking up early.
Being here.
Yeah. Glad you made it too.
I appreciate being here, and yes, thanks for inviting me. And I really love everyone in the chat in the stream.
That we have a great chat. We do. People have been very good. So
yep.
Glad to hang out with everybody. All right. Well, we'll see everybody back here in 2 weeks. We'll take a break off, and look forward to. We'll keep in touch on Slack. If you got any other questions, feel free to send them there or shoot us an email. But it was good to see everybody, and we'll take care. Thanks for joining, Xusheng.
Goodbye. See you.